Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, we talk a lot about reading a river. In the St. Lawrence, it's much more difficult because most of your structure underneath is underneath. And you aren't really going to see it as you're going along and trying to pick a place to fish unless you've got electronics. And that's why these bass boats that are filled with graphs and screens, they can see everything. But you and I, we might not have a bass boat, and we might not be able to do that. But let's take it a step back. Let's look at our tributaries. They're going to have the same kind of characteristics. It's just that you'll be able to see a lot of things because the water's lower. You don't have 100 feet of water. A lot of the rivers, the average depth is going to be 2 feet or less. So you can see things. And here's what I have found through all my years of waiting, especially as it gets more and more in the summer and the water level goes down. Obviously, the fish are going to relate to structure. And I've talked about the end of a pool being the best place of all in a section of water. The end of the pool, the water starts to gain speed again, more oxygen, and the fish seem to know that everything is going to be pushed down through there, and this is a place to go to wait for the food to come to you. But more, I won't say more importantly, but in a more basic form is look for things that stand out. And a big rock, it can't be any simpler than that. Any big rock that you see that sticks out of the water is going to serve as a habitat place, as a structure place that fish are going to orient around. And not just around, they're going to get on the downriver side of that rock. In every case, that's going to be it, except with Atlantic salmon. We don't have any Atlantic salmon in these tributaries. So they're going to be on the downriver side of that rock, where on each side the current rushes around it, and behind it, it forms like a little pool, a little eddy of slower water where they can sit and wait and get stuff as it goes by on either side. So if you see a big rock, I will promise you, in almost every case in the summer, not so much in the spring because they haven't oriented yet, but in the summer, there's going to be a fish behind that rock. It might be a big one, it might be a little one, but there'll be a fish there. So how do you put your bait there? The best way isn't to just cast it so it falls into that little pool behind the rock. That might scare them. It might not seem natural because in most cases, things don't fall out of the sky into their pool. They come rushing down on either side. So the best way is to fish across from yourself, across from that rock, let your lure hit on the other side of it, maybe 5-10 feet away, and then slowly bring it back into the slow water little pool behind the rock. And I will promise you 90% of the time there's going to be a fish there. And so this is one of the things I look for every time I go wading is I fish the pockets behind the rocks, or I fish the end of the current area at the end of the pool where it starts picking up, and I know the fish are going to be waiting. Most of the other water isn't going to be nearly as good. It's just not going to hold the fish. But those places will almost always hold fish. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.